everybody, it's Stefe and welcome back to my channel. So today I have for you a Lunar Beauty unboxing and review. I'm obviously filming this after I have done my makeup, so this is the eye look I'm going to be doing today on camera. I have the Moon Spell Volume 2 palette. So we are going to unbox that, swatch it, play with the colors. I'll give my final thoughts, and I also do have his 7-piece eye brush set. So that is in here, and I'm going to review both those things. So if you want to see a review from Lunar Beauty, then keep on watching. If you're going to get something from his site, I would say getting one of their bundles is probably the best deal. But we are opening it. It does say Lunar Beauty, and it's got a card in here. Very big card. I really like this. And on the back it has the full launch with the lippies on it. So this is a cool collector's piece. And on this just has my shipping invoice on it. So that's that. Let's take this out now. So it comes wrapped up in this pretty tissue paper. So we're just going to open that. And everything is in bubble wrap. So that's nice that it is securely wrapped. Let's look at the brushes first. So they do come in a Lunar Beauty bag. I'm just going to open it here. Oh, I love the little like pull tab on the bag. Very cute. There is a silica packet in here, and then the brushes are individually wrapped. So we do have some blending some blending brushes here and some small detail brushes. So I'll be using these today, but I want to take one out and just feel it. Okay, so it's got like it doesn't feel like a matte finish to it, but these are very like lightweight in the hand. So I am excited to use them. And this little brush bag will be good for makeup too. So this is the unicorn for the palette. It does slide out, I believe, just like a book. So here it is. It's a very like thick packaging for the palette, and it has like this fake golden book pages. I like that. There is a protector on here. I'm going to take that off. The mirror in here is a real nice quality mirror. So here is the palette. Alright, so I am going to swatch all of these for you guys, and then we will decide on a color story. But from what I think he mentioned, all of these over here are toppers, I believe, and then the only like real pressed pigments for metallics is going to be Zelda and Grams, right here and right here, but we will get into all of that. Okay, so this is the first swatch right here. How do I want to do this? Okay, so we have Misty, and then Willow is the red, and then Freya, Marie, and Myrtle down here is this really pretty metallic. Then next we have, let me get the camera focus here, Gillian, Grams, Queenie. This one is very patchy. I tried to build it up as fast as I could. And then this metallic like tan color, it's not picking up very good. Right there is Mildred, and then Sally. This one I feel like is not that pigmented, but it would be a good transition color. Next we have Hilda, Macy. This one is also a little bit patchy. Then this real pretty shimmer, Luna. Cameron is this one, and then Zelda down here. I thought this Zelda one was gonna pick up like a little bit more metallic than it does. It does have a metallic shift, it just doesn't catch the light very much. Okay, so these are the last swatches out of the palette. We have Mel. This would be a good transition color too. This one is also a little bit patchy. Then we have this magenta color Maggie, and then Louise. Can you see the pink? There's a pink right here. It's called Alex. It's a very light, there you go, baby pink. And then lastly on my hand, I'm trying to get to pick up right there, right here, is Agatha. That's the one that I think is the shadow topper that I was talking about. The rest of these do appear to be just straight up metallic. So what I think we're going to do today is a red eye look. Y'all know I love purple. I do a lot of purple. He did do a purple look on his launch video. So I want to do something a little bit different. I can play with these purples all I want, but I haven't had like a real decent red eyeshadow in so long. So I really want to see how these colors do. So as we're getting started, one thing that I do want to mention, because I feel like it's important for y'all to know if you do want to buy this, from what I understand in his launch video, these are pressed pigments, which means they are not eyeshadows, which means they may stain your eyes. So I have did my swatches. I have my magic eraser here, and I just want to show you without a makeup balm or anything, it can stain your fingers a little bit, as you can see on my hand right here from the pinks and the reds. I just want to make you guys aware of that, because some people don't know that, and then they're concerned that their eyes are stained to color. I believe it was a year or two ago this happened on TikTok. The girl said that she had a Huda Beauty, was it Huda? And palette, I think it was the mini red one, and it had stained her eyes, and she was like, I gotta go to work, how am I supposed to go to work like this? Anytime you're using a new palette, I would make sure that you do have some concealer or something you can put over that the next day. If you do feel like it's going to be bothersome, just be prepared and make sure you do your research on an eyeshadow palette before you buy it for those reasons. I know some people don't believe in using certain dyes on their skin and don't like to use certain dyes on their skin. Some people are allergic to like red 40 and things. So it's important to know those things and do your research before you buy something that could potentially go against an allergy you have, or something that you just don't want to use. So right now I'm just putting an eye primer on. Now that that's on, I am going to take the biggest brush that they have. This is the LBE1. I'm just going to call them by their numbers. And we are going to dip into the palette. So I'm thinking about grabbing, probably because this is a red palette, I'm going to grab Sally, which is like the burnt orange. And we're going to put that all over the eye. Now, I don't have anything in this palette to use as like a brow bone highlight, which I do enjoy in a palette, but I found sometimes it's nice to just use your highlighter so it all matches. If we just don't build this up too great, that's okay. I will blend out the edges on this in a second. Don't mind Carter, he's having a good time in his room. So I'm going to take another fluffy brush. This is number 2, and I'm just going to diffuse these edges a little bit. So I have a story to tell you guys about me actually buying this palette, because the palette launched, I believe it was on a Friday. I worked that night, so I didn't get a chance to watch the video, but I did watch the video Saturday morning. So I decided I wanted to get some of his brushes, that I wanted the palette. It was really pretty. So I went to get it, and I hadn't updated my Apple Pay since I had moved here. So the shipping address posted as my old address. I was kind of freaking out, because I was like, okay, what am I going to do? So I did email their customer service people, and I said, hey, you know, I need to update my shipping address. Now, if you have never done that before, when you do that, it doesn't change your address on the shipping information. I'm going to pick up Cameron now on that same toothbrush that I blended out the edges. I'm just going to put it around the edges And we're gonna blend that together. But they did email me back right away Monday morning that they were gonna update my shipping address. I got the palette, was it within a week? Yeah. So I ordered it last weekend and it came, I think 2 days ago. So yeah, within a week. Not too bad considering I believe their warehouse where it comes from is in California and we are in Wisconsin, so not too bad. I'm just grabbing whatever brush I think is going to be best. I'm going to grab the number 5. We're going to pick up Willow, which is the red. If there's one one color in here that's probably going to stay in your eye the most, it's going to be this one, Willow, because it is a really pigmented red. So I'm going to put this all over the lid. It does appear to be a really like dry formula. Like I don't feel it moving too much. So there's that. There also is barely any fallout at all on the eye. In the pan, I mean, I'm pretty heavy-handed, so that's neat. I will say his brushes do pick up pigment very well, and I am enjoying that, but I'm used to real crappy brushes because y'all know I don't have any good brushes. So I'm just kind of throwing this on. I don't really have to build this up too much. You can see it's pretty bright and I'm very happy with it. So now I'm going to go to the other eye and do the same thing. I really like this. So one thing I'm going to say, because I have contacts, when I wear eyeshadow or put eyeshadow on, sometimes if the color payoff is not the greatest, I really have to pack that on, and I always get concerned that that's going to rub inside my eyelid on the contacts. Like right now my contact just moved a little bit, but it's not too bad. So this one though, with these brushes, they're really gentle. They don't really irritate my eyes like most bristles, like synthetic bristles do. I do want to take a closer look at the brushes in a second, like when we're done. So the one that I had Cameron on, number 2, I'm going to pick that back up. We're going to blend this together. And then I'm going to put a metallic over it, and we're going to be done with the eyes. I do have a Filmmakers kind of little glitter pop collection, and I did want to use that on the lower lash line, but I think for today I'm not going to, because I'm just having a day today where nothing is working out the way that I want it. Nothing is wrong, but wow, that is a color. It's gonna look better with lashes on and everything like that. So let's take the one that I have Willow on. I'm just trying to reuse brushes here, and I'm going to pick up Grams on the other side of my brush. I want to see if it picks this up by itself. I don't want it to get like too matted down in the pan. It is picking it up, so I'm gonna put that on. Ooh, this would be a real pretty color for like Christmas too, but just a real nice spookified red, and I like that. Wow. One thing, I'm picking up Willow again. What am I doing? One thing I'll definitely say is I feel like because these are pressed pigments, you probably should set this with a setting powder a setting spray when you're done, just to make sure you're locking in those pigments. I gotta turn because I don't have the natural light that I need. There we go, that's better. And then I'm gonna blend the edges one more time. Y'all know I love to blend. I really like this eye look. It is very bright, but the color stuck to the brushes. I don't see any fallout, so I'm so happy with that. Y'all, I have not tried Lunar Beauty palette yet, so this for me is good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some highlighter on, and we're gonna go from there. But I want to talk about these brushes because I feel like they are so pretty. I think I'm actually going to take Agatha on this really small one and use this as a inner corner. The brushes, to me, let's check and see what it says. High quality synthetic. It says they mimic natural hair. And then it talks about the makeup bag. So he's not really saying too much about the brushes, but one thing I'll say is these are different than like your regular synthetic brushes. Like, I feel like the quality is better. I like that they're all white and they don't have like this, because I feel like a lot of brushes do that. And these, they're not like that. They feel to be like, he says on there crimped tightly, but they feel to be pressed together more, like there's more brushes in here, or not brushes, bristles in here, and that's nice. So let's put this in the corner just a little bit. I don't want much, like I don't want to look crazy here, but I do want just the tiniest amount in that corner right there. I don't really do inner corner highlights anymore. I think I've kind of like gotten out of doing that, but I mean, girl, I don't see why not. Yeah, there we go. So our eye look is pretty much almost complete. Let me grab a highlighter now, and then we're gonna lock this in place. So I'm just gonna take the sarcophagus one that I have, because that's what I have. And I am going to take, the inner corner brush that I used is 6. And I'm gonna take brush 3 and pick up this highlighter with us. Yeah, I will say these brushes, they really grab the pigment, because this highlighter can be kind of powdery. Like, it's falling off my face right now. So for it to pick it up that well, I'm really surprised. I mean, I knew his brushes were good, but I didn't know I would like them that much, which means I'm probably going to buy more when he comes out with more. So I'm going to just try to kind of marry these together a little bit so we don't have any harsh lines. And then I'm going to just go in with my finger, because this is such a dark color and I haven't used any dark colors except for purple lately. And we're going to just blend that together with that very pretty metallic. But even touching it is definitely a different formula. I don't think I've ever had like a pressed pigment before. I am going to put this back in the box, do the rest of my makeup, and then I will come back and we'll talk about everything. But before I go, I'm going to wipe my face and we're going to see what this actually looks like. So out of this is a 6 brush set or 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of the 7 brushes, I did use 5 of them. They feel really good. They feel really nice. Do I think they're worth $35? Yeah, I do. I do. If you want good quality brushes, you do have to pay for those. I think if you don't want to do that, you can do something like EcoTools. EcoTools is a nice brand to use, but I feel like aside from EcoTools, I haven't found like a really good inexpensive brand. There's a little bit of glitter fallout, but you do get that usually with any glitter eyeshadow that you use. And of course my skin is reactive, so that's what you're seeing right here. But yeah, I'm gonna be back. We will talk about how I feel about everything, and yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, y'all, so let's talk final thoughts on everything. So I think if you have the money to buy this palette from Lunar Beauty and you want something on your vanity that gives you very spooky vibes, I would say definitely get it. But one thing I'm going to tell you about any type of pressed pigment is that you can usually find them for a pretty decent price. I do think, how much was this again? $48 is a bit much for a palette, but then again, Jeffree Star is a lot more expensive than this, and I've bought that before, but that's also not a pressed pigment. So I mean, there isn't one thing about this palette that I don't like, but I will say if you use a pressed pigment and you're going to put eyeshadow on, it's gonna skip a lot and you're gonna have a lot of issues unless you're using a cream based eyeshadow, and then it's gonna stick to the pigment. So it's like if you work with colored pigments, you have to take your time and kind of learn how they work. It's just one of those things. It's different than an eyeshadow, but I do really like this palette. I think this red is super pretty. It gives me very like, you remember when Rihanna had her hair red? I always called this color Rihanna red, this willow color. I really like it, and I did put that Grams metallic on top of it, and it's not too much. It's not super glittery. It doesn't look like disco ball type of metallic. It's very nice for my look. I feel like this works. This is perfect on my vanity. It's very cute. I do support Manny MUA, so I'm glad I was able to get this, because Moonspell 1 I wasn't able to get that one, but I'm very happy to have this. And I would just say, yeah, it just depends on you. If you want it, baby, get it. But it is almost $50, so just know that. But with the way that I am with spooky things, this is like Christmas for me, Halloween. I love it. Let's talk about these brushes now, because I feel like they do deserve some attention, because these are really good brushes, and I am very picky about my brushes because I have sensory issues. So anything on my eye that feels super scratchy, I don't like. Also, when I pay for a brush, if it starts to shed, I don't like that either. And these, they might be plastic, but they feel like wood to me. I'm really thinking that they're wood. The issue I have with wooden brushes, and I don't even know if this is the one that was doing it. I'm trying to find it. I think it's these MSQ ones that I have, and I can't find the brush right now, but the paint started to come off and chip off the brushes. These are from Amazon, and I think it was $30 for like a 45 piece set. Maybe not, no, it's gotta be like a 20 piece set. It wasn't that big, but that's the issue I have with that. I think it depends on the paint on the brushes though. These are more high quality though. It's $35 for these 7 brushes and the bag. Like, let's not forget the bag, because the bag is cute as shit. I really do like it. It has Lunar Beauty on it. It's got a Lunar Beauty pull tab on the zipper. I think, you know, this would fit. Like, let me see. I can grab all the brushes I would use. I don't have my blush brush out here, so I'm just going to grab other things and stick them in here and see. Oh, I found it. I'm going to just stick some brushes in here and see. Yeah, so all the brushes I would use every day will fit in here, and I think that's great. But getting back to brushes that shed, so this is a Morphe brush, and as you can see down here on the bottom, it does this every day, every time I wash it. I think it has to do with how it's crimped together. They probably didn't glue the brush together that well on the inside. I really do like this Morphe brush, but that's what I'm talking about with the shedding. And I did mention before these black brushes that have the white tip on them. I am not a fan of that. Like, to me, it's just super basic. If I'm gonna spend money on brushes, especially a Morphe brush, I want it to be pretty. Like, if you look at the Fenty Beauty brushes, they look just like the Lottie brushes. They're all pink. Hers even have a like cap for the top of them so they don't get all over your makeup bag and stuff. I mean, it's like, I feel like with brushes, there needs to be a higher quality standard, and I feel like these Lunar Beauty brushes, they just do it for me. I really like them. I like the way that they're made. I like that they're crimped together tightly at the top, that there is a lot of bristles in here. It holds the pigment, and to hold a color pigment, which from me playing with them, it seems to be they are more powdery than an eyeshadow, but for this brush to hold that, and I don't even have to tap the brush or anything, it just picks up what I need. I love that. I could literally dip the shadow in, well, not shadow, pressed pigment in like this, pull it up, and it had it. I didn't have to keep trying to pick it up, to scoop it up, to use my finger, any of that. So I really appreciate that. I think altogether with sales tax and everything, my order was like 83 bucks for the brushes and the palette, but I believe you can get a set on his website. Like I said, if you get anything from his brand, I have looked into things, and especially if you get the brushes with the beauty blender, that is the better deal for the bundle than just buying the brushes on their own. So don't do what I did. But Anyway, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup look. I know I didn't really get too close in detail, just know that, but with the way that I am with spooky things, this is like Christmas for me, Halloween. I love it. Let's talk about these brushes now, because I feel like they do deserve some attention, because these are really good brushes, and I am very picky about my brushes because I have sensory issues. So anything on my eye that feels super scratchy, I don't like. Also, when I pay for a brush, if it starts to shed, I don't like that either. And these, they might be plastic, but they feel like wood to me. I'm really thinking that they're wood. The issue I have with wooden brushes, and I don't even know if this is the one that was doing it. I'm trying to find it. I think it's these MSQ ones that I have, and I can't find the brush right now, but the paint started to come off and chip off the brushes. These are from Amazon, and I think it was $30 for like a 45 piece set. Maybe not, no, it's gotta be like a 20 piece set. It wasn't that big, but that's the issue I have with that. I think it depends on the paint on the brushes though. These are more high quality though. It's $35 for these 7 brushes and the bag. Like, let's not forget the bag, because the bag is cute as shit. I really do like it. It has Lunar Beauty on it. It's got a Lunar Beauty pull tab on the zipper. I think, you know, this would fit. Like, let me see if I can grab all the brushes I would use. I don't have my blush brush out here, so I'm just gonna grab other things and stick them in here and see. Oh, I found it. I'm gonna just stick some brushes in here and see. Yeah, so all the brushes I would use every day will fit in here, and I think that's great. But getting back to brushes that shed, so this is a Morphe brush, and as you can see down here on the bottom, it does this every day, every time I wash it. I think it has to do with how it's crimped together. They probably didn't glue the brush together that well on the inside. I really do like this Morphe brush, but that's what I'm talking about with the shedding. And I did mention before these black brushes that have the white tip on them. I am not a fan of that. Like, to me, it's just super basic. If I'm gonna spend money on brushes, especially a Morphe brush, I want it to be pretty. Like, if you look at the Fenty Beauty brushes, they look just like the Lottie brushes. They're all pink. Hers even have a like cap for the top of them so they don't get all over your makeup bag and stuff. I mean, it's like, I feel like with brushes, there needs to be a higher quality standard, and I feel like these Lunar Beauty brushes, they just do it for me. I really like them. I like the way that they're made. I like that they're crimped together tightly at the top, that there is a lot of bristles in here. It holds the pigment, and to hold a color pigment, which from me playing with them, it seems to be they are more powdery than an eyeshadow, but for this brush to hold that, and I don't even have to tap the brush or anything, it just picks up what I need. I love that. I could literally dip the shadow in, well, not shadow, pressed pigment in like this, pull it up, and it had it. I didn't have to keep trying to pick it up, to scoop it up, to use my finger, any of that. So I really appreciate that. I think altogether with sales tax and everything, my order was like 83 bucks for the brushes and the palette, but I believe you can get a set on his website. Like I said, if you get anything from his brand, I have looked into things, and especially if you get the brushes with the beauty blender, that is the better deal for the bundle than just buying the brushes on their own. So don't do what I did. But anyway, that's all I have for today. Alright, so that is, y'all, I just realized this video did not have an outro. So anyway, this is the outro. If you liked the video, leave it a like. If you're new, please subscribe for more makeup related content and other skincare things. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!